stats versus facts. Ayy, stats versus facts. Ayy, know where we at on the stats versus facts. Yeah, my boy hella black. He back on the stats versus facts, and you might get smacked by the stats versus facts. Ayy. Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Stats versus Facts. You know where we at, Sports Talk. It's your boy Marsh, and I'm here with the crew. What it do, crew?
Sure, go on, run and tell it.
Oh, what's up? What's up?
Yes, sir. G-Reg in the building. What's happening, G-Reg?
You know what it is? Always looking for that check.
Yep. What the heck? Get that check. And,
Got you, man. Ching.
C-Mac back from New Year's hangover, boy. What's going on with you, man?
Not much to look for the bag.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Go
Still
DJ.
Go DJ. That's my DJ. That's my DJ. Go DJ.
Ha. Yeah. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome back to this show. You know what today was. Today was that Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I had to get the chicken in me. You feel me? The two-piece. You know? We got a nice little show for you today. Man, NFL season's over. We have some NBA news. Season's starting to kick off a little bit more. And we got a Heisman Trophy winner, along with some interesting college football playoff results. So let's jump right into it. And we're going to start right there with actually the college football playoff results, man. So it was, for I think all of our minds, a foregone conclusion that, you know, Alabama, Clemson, that's probably going to be the national championship game. Ohio State said, not so fast. We may be 6-0, but we are a tough 6-0. You ain't getting us out of there real quickly. They put the shellacking on Clemson. Justin Fields outplayed Trevor Lawrence really, really badly. Like, that was bad. He looked like the Heisman. He looked like that guy everybody thought was going to be the Heisman and could compete for the number one overall pick. I mean, he played really, really well. Played really, really well. And they ended up beating them. Ohio State over Clemson 49-28. Fields had 6 touchdowns to 1 interception. Lawrence had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception is off. 33 of 48, 400 yards. Fields was 22 of 28 for 285 yards. And once again, nobody could stop Sermon from Ohio State. 31 carries, 193 yards, 1 touchdown. Greg, break it down for me. What was the difference maker in this game, man? Because
I think they made Clemson one-dimensional. ETN, they stopped ETN. Ohio State has the top.
Yeah,
I think it's the second, but I'll say top 5 just for clarification. Top 5 rush defense in the NCAA. So they were able to stop ETN and get pressure on Lawrence. And the reason we had thought that Clemson might have going to beat Ohio State, because up to this point, Justin Fields hadn't been that on point with his game. Sermon kind of started to come on. But Justin Fields, you know, if he's not on, then you don't think Ohio State has a chance. And their defense, their pass defense is ranked like in the hundreds in pass defense this year. So you thought Clemson was going to be able to throw all over them. But they weren't. They got pressure on Lawrence, and it was just they couldn't run the ball, and it was just that from that on.
Yeah, Dabo had to eat his words, thinking Ohio State was number 11 in the country.
Yeah, that didn't help that situation either.
Didn't help that situation at all.
You don't want to get bulletin board material before a game.
So yeah, that was pretty bad. That was
And Clemson's defense looked like when they played Notre Dame.
Yeah,
they got put on them.
Yep, they definitely did. And then in the other game, Alabama crushed Notre Dame 31-14. Mac Jones 25 of 30, 4 touchdowns, 297 yards. Harris had 15 carries, 125 yards, and Devontae Smith had 7 receptions, 130 yards, 3 touchdowns. We're gonna get back to him in a little bit, but man, he was looking good. He was looking good. Notre Dame really didn't have an answer for him.
Notre Dame doesn't never have an answer for anybody in the playoff.
ever. They're like Oklahoma.
Yeah,
in
they're
Oregon.
like, I'm tired of seeing them, bro. I can't take it no more.
Yeah, they're like Oklahoma and Oregon. They never get past the first, and they get shellacked. It's just like, why?
Or
You,
Washington.
yeah, we're Washington.
Washington gets in there and
Yeah, it's like, why not give a team like this other one that we all thought should have been in there, A&M, an opportunity to be in the championship. Now A&M did trail a good North Carolina team for quite a while till coming off and coming back and winning that one 41-27. But I think they would have put up a better fight against Alabama than Notre Dame would have.
yeah,
Definitely.
anybody, just please.
So,
But Notre Dame has so much following, so much money behind them. They have their own network. They have maybe an independent. They have a lot of there's a big draw to be put in there.
right. And the fact that they did beat Clemson that time before.
Yeah.
If that wouldn't have happened, then there was no way in hell they would have been there.
Yeah. Do we think the ACC is kind of overrated? Because Notre Dame went into the ACC and Clemson's part of the ACC.
I mean, outside of Clemson, and really now outside of Clemson, there's really no other good teams. I mean, Florida State was there. Now Jimbo was gone, and Florida State's program is pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina has Mac Brown, but they're still not there quite yet. Yeah, I mean, it's just not. They're not that good. And actually, the ACC went, I want to say 0-6. C-Mac, look that up for me. I think they went 0-6 in bowl games this year. I don't think any ACC team won a bowl game this year.
Jesus.
With the best being actually the Big 12. The Big 12 actually had the best bowl record. I think they're 5-0, 4-0, or something like that.
With the Oklahoma shellacked Florida.
Yeah,
they went 0-6.
Yeah, 0-6. That's pretty bad.
Oh no, they were expected to go 0-6. They won 1.
What's the Arnold Palmer Classic or what?
I think so. Yeah.
Names. Which ACC team won? Real.
Let's see.
Let's guess.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me that one. Because I don't see it. I don't think any ACC teams won.
They might have won 0-6. I see because it says on here. Oh no, yeah. They were expected to go 1-5, but they went 0-6. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they went 0-6. Miami lost.
Expected to go 1-5.
Yeah, Miami's another one. Miami's another one that's kind of in there, but Miami lost to Oklahoma State. That's one. Who else?
He's coming back. The quarterback for Miami's coming back, so they should be good next year.
Notre Dame lost us 2. Clemson lost us 3. North Carolina, that's 4. That's 4. I don't know where the other ones were. But anyway, yeah, the Big 12, excuse me, they were unreal.
Dr. Pepper, Big 12 championship.
Yeah, five wins, and even after a huge win over Colorado, 55-23, Longhorns still fired Tom Herman.
Go Horns.
Okay with, because you lost to Oklahoma, I think the last 2-3 years, something like that, and you were expected to go pretty far this year. You lost. I mean, the 2 games that you lost were back to back to TCU and then to Oklahoma, and then you won out only to make. Oh no, excuse me. They lost 3 games because they lost to Iowa State as well. So they lost 3 games. 7. They went 7-3 this year. Excuse me. So yeah, they're not able to get over the hump and get back into the real conversation. Because had they gone undefeated, or at least 9-1, or at least had a chance to have a rematch against Oklahoma rather than losing to Iowa State in that pivotal game, we might see UT possibly get an opportunity to get into the playoffs. But the last time they've even been close to making the national championship game, let alone now the new playoff, was when Colt McCoy was a quarterback when they got stomped by Alabama in 2010 or 9 or something like that.
He did get knocked out.
Well, he did. He got hurt. I mean, they ended up getting rolled, and they barely beat. I believe it was.
Shout out Colt 45.
They barely beat Iowa State as well in that Big 12 championship game to end up going. Otherwise, it would have been TCU and Andy Dalton possibly getting that opportunity to go to the big dance or the big game. So,
Little red pistol.
yep. Now having Sarkisian at the head coach for UT, Greg, what is your thoughts on that?
Lukewarm, right? I think he was coaching at USC, and then he went to Atlanta. Somewhere either in between or after, became an alcoholic. I mean, I don't know if that's the best thing that happened to the program. Hopefully, offensively he gets better. I think defensively that's where we need the most improvement.
Right.
Stopping, these high-powered offenses.
Right. Because now coming in for UT, you got to see who's going to be your quarterback. Since Ellinger is going to go to the draft, he's going to declare for the draft. So I don't even know who their backup QB is.
He played pretty well. I forgot what his name was. Showed a little spark, but yeah, it's always a question, right? When you hand over the reins, looking for that next QB.
Thompson. Casey Thompson. He's a sophomore. Or Card. No, Card's a freshman. So I think you might be talking about Thompson. Casey Thompson.
He was in that game.
Yeah. He's 6'1", 197 pounds. He's from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So obviously Oklahoma, you definitely want to beat Oklahoma State and Oklahoma for sure. 6'1". Ellinger was what, 6'3"? Yeah. So a little bit shorter. Maybe he has, he's able to run the ball a little bit more. We'll see. We'll see when it comes out.
Hopefully it's about recruiting, man. Recruiting in the best recruits in, running a high-power offense where recruits want to come and play for. Obviously, finding the right defensive coordinator and bringing the right people in to revamp the defense is going to be important.
Yeah, I mean, UT and Michigan are kind of in the same boat as far as two really respected and storied schools, and programs that are kind of just now mid-tier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they haven't been able to run the table. Like, you would have thought Michigan would have been able to get over on, Ohio State. I mean, I remember that they lost to Michigan State one year. Penn State ended up revamping themselves, and Michigan was kind of just always that in between.
That's a good comparison because it used to be in the conference. It used to be Michigan and Ohio State. Yeah. Just like in the Big 12, it was UT and Oklahoma. But then you kind of saw Michigan kind of flounder, and then other teams like a Penn State started having success. Michigan State started having more success.
Smaller degree too.
Yeah. Same with UT. You started seeing TCU, Baylor having more success than
Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Tech was in there a couple of times.
Yeah.
After A&M moved out, and then even Iowa State has, come in and had a little bit of success too. But for the most part, it's been Oklahoma's conference. It's the same with the Big Ten. It's been Ohio State's.
Yeah.
So, the Big O's are killing it. So yeah.
Go Horns.
Go Horns. Now, to the big question of who's going to win the Heisman. Well, we found out. And
the winner is
Devontae Smith out of Alabama. First wide receiver to win the award since 1991, too.
Yeah, Desmond Howard.
And, I mean, I was happy for him. I was really, really happy for him. I thought they might go Trevor Lawrence.
Which is ridiculous, kind of, right?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have the best season though, and he
Yeah.
got hit with COVID for a couple games, took him out, and just
I thought Trevor Lawrence should have been fourth or fifth, to be honest.
mm,
I think Trask and Mac Jones had better seasons.
Mac Jones did have he did have a really, really good season. Trask, he did okay.
I think if he wouldn't have struggled so much in if they would have got not blown out.
Right. And I think too, had Penix Jr. not got hurt for Indiana, he would have made a case because he was balling. He was balling. Tough, it was tough season for some of these guys. I'm glad Devontae won. He'll probably be. I'm thinking if the Jets are smart, maybe draft him second because now you're gonna have a weapon to go along with your QB, or they may end up drafting Justin Fields. Who knows? We'll have to see what they're deciding to do.
For sure. But Devontae Smith was unguardable practically.
Yeah.
He was like getting like 130 yards, a game. It was just like video game for them. It seemed like no one could guard him. Like he was always open.
Yep. Which we'll get into draft positioning too, because I also have another take on it for.
Ooh, the hot takes are coming in
for one particular team, because there's one particular team this year that was crying and we could have gotten this player and the Cowboys got him, and I'm like, relax. I see. Now this is why I was saying relax, because look at your team, the specific team that I'm talking about, which we'll get into. But we got the national championship game coming up on, I believe it's next Monday, the 11th.
They're talking about concerns about COVID and regarding Ohio State, so they're thinking about moving it. I don't know. I haven't heard any of the new words on it.
Right. They may. As of right now, I don't think they have any plans to do it yet.
No.
We will see. But we'll give you more on updates with that and our predictions on the next show. So, moving from the college football realm to the NFL. C-Mac, them Cowboys. What did I tell you? I almost got it right. Almost got it right. Because I told you they were going to lose to the Giants.
Yep.
I sure as hell did tell you they were going to lose to the Giants. Now, I did not think that Washington was going to beat Philly, which, to be fair, the Philly was trying to lose the game. Like, there's just no other way to put it. They were trying to lose the game.
A secure top 6 pick.
From 9 to 6. Congratulations. Woohoo. That makes so much of a big difference. Like, they threw that game. You know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, Hurts wasn't having the best day, but I think Peterson has something out for that man. I really, really do. Because he was so reluctant to start him. Okay. And then he started, he didn't have the best day. He was 7-21, had an interception, but he ran for 2 touchdowns. He's keeping you on the damn game and you still pull him? Why? If y'all were getting blown out by like 20-something points, I can understand that, but you're in the game.
I think it's all from up top. Obviously, you drafted Wentz, you paid him big money. You want to start him as long as possible, try to get him out of the funk. You thought he was the face of the franchise, so you don't want to make a QB controversy. And as far as the game, I mean, I'm pretty sure the upper upset, we got to lose this. There's no benefit of us winning. We're not going to the playoffs. Even though I would have liked to see if Hurts could bring him back, see if he has that, if he's going to be our future quarterback or not.
Yeah.
But they decided, hey, we need that pick's more important.
I think that was bogus. I think it was. Not from the Giants. I don't think the Giants should be complaining because it's just like you were 5-7. You were 5-7, controlling your own destiny, and you lost. The next through 2 games until the Cowboys games, or the next. Yeah, you lost the next 2 games before the Cowboys. So it's just like I don't want to hear. Or 2 or 3 games. They lost 3 out of 4 games. You're controlling your destiny. You should have won one of those other games, and you would have had an opportunity to be in that playoff spot. So that's on y'all, Giants.
I don't think anybody from the NFC East needs to complain about anything.
Exactly. Giants, you let me down though, because I had y'all winning the division. I really, really did. Washington won by the skin of their teeth, and now Chase Young is all talking about I want Brady. I want Tom. Okay.
And Bruce Arians came back. Be careful what you wish for.
Mhm.
So we're gonna see.
And I'm gonna go right into that game because there's a guy by the name of Antonio Brown that scored 2 touchdowns and had about 120 something yards. Coming on at the right time, man. Coming on at the right time. As those Buccaneers won their final game, they got the 5th seed. Brady looked he had like 4 touchdowns or something. Let me double check that.
He had 4 touchdowns, 399
Thank you.
yards, and 1 interception.
He had
Trying
1
to get them
interception.
stats up.
Mhm. Yeah.
Make a season look good.
Thank you, C-Mac. They blew out the Falcons. Which the Falcons were bad anyway, but still. Antonio Brown had 11 receptions, 138 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It's good to see him get, that activity in there, especially after Mike Evans got hurt. They don't know if he'll be able to go against Washington in this upcoming playoff game. His knee, he has no damage to it, but probably be sore. So we will see. I think he'll try to go out and play. But if they get them going, I'm gonna cover that. So yeah, Cowboys season is done. It's over. I mean, underwhelming season. Does Mike McCarthy get a pass to either one of you?
Yeah.
I don't see why not. I don't see why we would like. There's no reason not to give him a pass because I mean, some questionable, but like, go and do something much with what you got.
First year, COVID, injuries. I don't like the council. Yeah, I don't like the council. I don't like to fire any coach after one season. I think
you can get rid of Mike Nolan.
Yeah.
But you're talking head coach. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get rid of Mike Nolan. I know what's his name? Our offensive coordinator, Dallas's offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, was going to take a job at Boise State, ended up not, and he's staying. I think it's time to make a change with him because he was under Jason Garrett for all those years. Get rid of everybody that was under Jason Garrett. Bring in new people, but you got to get rid of Mike Noll. Got to get rid of that man. Mike Noll has to go. He has to go. Cowboys were 29th against the run, 30th defense overall. Like, that's bad. Come on, man.
To be fair, he wasn't given that much to work with either. But yeah, I don't like when you hire your best friend to coach or your friends.
Exactly. That's not.
I mean, if they can do well and win, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you are like one of the worst defenses I've ever seen in my life, yeah.
Well, Mike Noll, when last seen, he coached Atlanta, and they were the 31st ranked defense or the 38th ranked defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Where they're 16 teams, the 31st ranked defense, like, they're bad.
But we know about the NFL, just the same coaches get recycled.
Pretty much. So that was really bad. For the teams trying to fight their way into the playoffs, the Rams beat the Cardinals with no Jared Goff, although there was no Kyler Murray for the Cardinals. So I mean,
he got knocked out.
Yeah, that was a really, really
the battle of the backups.
Yeah, that was a bad game. Rams won that 18-7. So they squeak into the playoffs. Congrats. They will face Seattle, who locked up the number 3 seed as they beat the 49ers. And they won their division. So that's a divisional rivalry game in the wild card. So that ought to be pretty good.
Yeah, we've already seen 2 games this year of them. We're about to see the third action. They each are 1-1 against each other.
So that'll be a fun little game. And then somehow, after losing 5 straight games, the Chicago Bears squeaked their way into the playoffs.
The Bears.
Even though he got smacked by Green Bay, and they were going to go into New Orleans and face the Saints, who locked up the 2 seed. So
shout out to Money Mitch. Probably get extended for another 10, 20 years.
Shout out Khalil Mack and that defense, man, because I mean they can only do so much. I mean, Khalil Mack, if you want to come to Dallas, I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with it. I'm cool.
Nah, I'm good.
Now on the
I don't
flip
like
side,
paying one player too much money.
It's fair.
fair, but I mean, yeah, with Dak, he about to get his money, as Jerry Jones said on his
Yeah.
radio show. Dak has all the leverage, although I still feel like he's gonna do some little.
They both need to come together. And I don't think Dak wants to try out another season and tempting fate because he's already gotten injured one for a whole season one time. Another time, your value really decreases, or you may never play the game again. It's the right injury.
Exactly.
So they both need to come together and make a realistic deal and get this thing done.
Yep, they sure do. And then they need to do something with Zeke Elliott's contract because he's regressed.
Yeah. He should be better a little. He should be a lot more better next year with our O-line coming back.
Hopefully.
So.
And get somebody for the secondary, please. How long does the secondary have to be this trash? Like, that's what we need to work on is getting somebody for the dadgum secondary.
We
Just
drafted
get it
Diggs
stable.
last year in the second round.
Say it again.
I said we drafted Diggs in the second round last
We
year.
did draft Diggs in the second round. That's one side. We need help on the other side. And
Yeah.
Diggs was still getting burned. So
Yeah.
it's like, anyway, I'm going to leave that there. Going to the AFC side now. It was Colts, Dolphins, Ravens, Browns, all at 10-5 coming into the final day. Colts are sitting on the outside looking in. All right. The Dolphins had the Bills. The Ravens had the Bengals, easy one. The Colts had the Jaguars, an easy one. And then the Browns had the Steelers. So kind of looking at it, we just didn't know who was going to play, who wasn't going to play. Steelers said they're resting their starters. Browns barely squeaked out a win.
Yeah,
Regardless.
they had a lot of people out because of COVID too.
They
A lot of
did.
starters.
They did. So they barely squeaked out a win, won 24-22. So they're heading to the playoffs for the first time since 2002. Congratulations. Congratulations, Browns fans. I know it's been a
Did it, baby.
long
We're here.
time.
Take the mask off. Take the trash bags off. You
Yeah.
can be seen again.
Yeah. And then you can put them back on because you might get smacked by the Steelers who you play again with their starters. It's
Yeah.
not good. It's not
Especially with all these COVID coming out about the Browns.
And Stefanski is not coaching. Their
Yeah.
head coach is not going to be there. But as we've seen with special teams coordinators, since their special teams coordinator is going to be their head coach, there's interim head coach. Look at Joe Judge.
Yeah.
So maybe something about those special team coaches that maybe they can coach. We'll see. We will see. But they made it in. The Colts, easy one over the Jaguars, 28-14. Oh, the Titans are also, excuse me, I forgot about the Titans. They're also 10-5. But they were
11-5.
No, I'm saying that going into the beginning of the day,
Oh,
they were 10-5. Yeah, they were 10-5. If they would have lost, the Colts would have won. They could have found themselves on the outside looking in if everybody won. But they won. Almost lost that one to the Texans. The Texans put up a hard fight. The Titans won 41-38, so they won their division. Derrick Henry ran for 250 yards and broke 2,000 yards. That dude is the best running back in the NFL by far. There's nobody that comes close to him. It's a distant second. And whoever's second.
Dalvin Cook, probably based on talent.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook will probably be second. And really, he didn't get to finish out the season because of his, dad passing away. Condolences to him as well.
Yeah. And then our boy Christian McCaffrey, the other C-man.
I am Christian McCaffrey too, but he just plays for the Panthers. Yeah. But still, Derrick Henry is
He's a workhorse.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't do to him like the Cowboys did to DeMarco Murray, because that would just be sad.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to run, get his money, and because I think he's a little different. I think he'll hang on a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
But running backs don't last long, man.
True. Stiff arms, people.
It's a big man that runs really fast.
Yeah, for sure. And I said the Colts won. The Dolphins got shellacked because the Bills decided, oh no, we're gonna play all of our people. We're gonna go in. We're gonna go in fresh. And we're gonna go in. ready in rhythm. You know what I'm saying?
We're ready to knock you all
56.
out.
56 point. They put 56 on the Dolphins. 56-28, man. Josh Allen, I mean, he didn't have the most spectacular game. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns, 18 of 25, 224, and 1 interception. But the fact that they put 56 on him, whew, Tua had a rough day. You rookie quarterbacks really throwing 58 times for you? 35 of 58, 361 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, man. That's
Struggle's real.
yeah, the struggle is real. No Fitz magic either. No Fitz magic.
Mission
Yep.
fits.
So the Dolphins get knocked out of the playoffs. Bills take the 2 seed. So now we're looking at Bills against the Colts. Bills against the Colts, 2 against 7. The Steelers at the 3 seed play the Browns, who are the 6 seed, and the Titans at the 4 seed play the Ravens at the 5 seed, which is a rematch of last year.
That's probably the best game, right?
Yeah, that Colts Bills game might actually be decent.
Think so?
It could be. It could be because if Phillip Rivers gets going with Jonathan Taylor, T.Y. Hilton. By the way, Jonathan Taylor finished
Third.
in rushing this year.
Shout out to Jonathan Taylor. I kind of read him off during half the season, and he
Right.
came out and broke 1,000 yards and was a third overall.
This is his second. What is his 3rd season?
He's a rookie.
He's only a rookie this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies. Yeah, that's pretty good. For some reason, I was thinking he had already played.
And this is his first year.
Okay. Yeah, that's really good.
Because Matt got hurt.
Right, Matt got hurt. You're right. Yeah, no, that's really good, Jonathan Taylor. So great job. Yeah, I that could be an interesting game. It really, really could, because Josh Allen has fumbled before. This is their first time going in as a higher seed. They're gonna have fans. I don't know. To me, this game kind of feels like I don't know if you guys remember back in 2017 or 2018 when the Rams made the playoffs for the first time in a long time. They were like, they go 12-4 or something like that, and they had to play. Who they ended up playing? I forget who they ended up playing, but I think they might have played the Saints and ended up losing that game. And everybody was like, it's not their time yet. They'll be ready next season. This is their first time hosting the playoff game and this and that. Granted, the Bills were in the playoffs last year, but first time hosting the playoff game, I don't know if they're going to be ready for it.
Yeah, I think that was the Bills last year. They weren't ready.
I still don't know if they're ready.
They got Stephon Diggs. They're ready to go.
True, they do have Stephon Diggs this year. Defense is a little bit shaky, but so can the Colts. But I trust the Colts defense a little bit more than I do the Bills. It just depends on what kind of offense are we going to see coming from those Colts, because this could be Phillip Rivers' last game that he ever plays. You know, and I kind of want to see Phillip Rivers get a win and keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get smashed.
Yeah,
That Rams was that Rams team you're thinking of was 2017 and lost to they lost to the Falcons.
Oh, okay, my bad. It was the Falcons. I apologize. Yeah. So we'll see. We will see.
Yeah.
But switching some gears, so now overall, whatever.
No, anytime I hear that, I always think of LeVar Ball.
Oh gosh.
The Godfather, the Triple B master.
Yes, sir.
that
Baller.
guy.
Big Paul.
Big baller.
That guy. So we have. Oh, also before I do that, Las Vegas Raiders running back Josh Jacobs got arrested for a DUI. Hopefully he learns from this and get hit too bad, but he had a pretty decent season himself. But it's just gotta be careful out there, guys. Gotta be careful out there.
Was it in Vegas? Because you're like, oh god.
Yeah, it was right after their game against the Broncos. I think they did play in Vegas. Yeah.
So the ups and downs with Vegas, man. There's a lot to do out there.
Yep. Absolutely. Now we have some season leaders overall. Oops. And let's get into it. I think I might have missed one. So
Like Stephon Diggs when receiving.
right. So overall, for the NFL season leaders, for sacks, we had TJ Watt, number one with 15. Aaron Donald was second, 13.5. Trey Hendrickson from the Saints, 13.5 as well. Then we had
Sack gods.
for passing yards, Deshaun Watson was number one, 4,823. Mahomes was second, 4,740. Tom Brady third with 4,633. For any of y'all people that said Tom Brady couldn't still throw the ball, shut the hell
That little Mr. Stat Patter.
up.
Stat padding against Atlanta. And these other godforsaken teams.
Hey, numbers are still numbers. But I feel bad for Deshaun Watson. He threw for almost 5,000 yards. He accounted for 88% of the Texans' offense, which is the highest ever from an NFL quarterback or quarterback in NFL history. That's ridiculous.
I mean, when you're always losing, you got to throw.
Yeah, and they're 4-12 because they got screwed by Bill O'Brien.
He burned the house down on the way out.
Yeah, I mean, it was so bad. JJ Watt was apologizing to Deshaun. He was like, "Man, we wasted one of your years." He was like, "We should be, we should have 11 wins, which they, theoretically could and can if they draft well." So we'll see.
It'd be interesting if they let him go.
Who JJ?
Yeah.
If they let him go, the team that I want to see sign him is the Steelers. Put him.
Play with his brother.
Yep, do that because you do that. Yeah, that's tough. That's really, really tough.
I've heard that floated or possibly playing for Green Bay because he's from Wisconsin.
Gosh, if he goes to Green Bay, woo! Yeah, and that's kind of what they're missing since Clay Matthews, ain't there anymore. Ooh, that'd be tough too. So we'll see with that. For interceptions leader, Xavier Howard had 10 INTs with the Dolphins. J.C. Jackson had 9 with the Patriots, and then Tyrann Mathieu had 6 with the Chiefs. The Honey Badger.
Honey Badger's still hanging on, baby. Moved to safety and still making plays.
That's right. Running backs, rushing mark leader, Derrick Henry 20-27, Dalvin Cook 15-57, and Jonathan Taylor 11-69 for a rookie. And also shout out James Robinson from the Jaguars, undrafted rookie, had 1,000 yards. He had like 1,000 CMAC. Look, I think it was 1,083 CMAC. Double check me on that one.
What, he's like 5th or 6th, right?
Yeah, but that's shoots. They have something going on in Jacksonville. They're heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
They get a QB, that'll be nice. It was either 1083, Chris, or
1070. So he tied with
okay.
David Montgomery.
He's tied with, from the Bears.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a random rushing list. I was looking over it. I was like, oh, some random people. Some random people on here.
Ezekiel Elliott was in like 11th with like under 1,000. So
Yeah, no. Total tackles leader, Zach Cunningham from the Texans, 164. Cowboys, Jalen Smith, 154 tackles because he's.
This is why you can't believe numbers.
Exactly. That's the stats versus facts, man.
Sometimes numbers are lie. Or you got to put it in context at least.
Yep. And then Blake Martinez from the Giants, 151 tackles. All 3 of these guys are on teams that did not make the playoffs. Boy, have mercy.
You gotta make a lot of tackles when you're losing.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely true. So, yeah, it was nice. Got some nice numbers. So from the final week, guys, I'm gonna throw out 7 names for you, okay? I want you guys to pick out your top 3, and this is gonna be for MVP of the NFL, right? So get ready. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Derrick Henry, and who my last one gonna be? We'll do 6 names. I don't have anybody for 7. Out of that, pick your top 3.
Can I do 4?
Actually, you know what? 7. I'm gonna put TJ Watt. Yeah, you can do 4.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
You'll go first,
I'll
Greg?
go.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors. Psych, I'm going first. I'll go Rodgers, Mahomes, Diggs, Henry.
In that order.
Oh no, not in order. In the order: Rodgers, Mahomes, Henry, Diggs. No, Diggs. No, Henry, Diggs.
Okay. Steve Mac, go ahead.
I rethink that.
What was the other 3 names? Because I know there's like TJ Watt and then
TJ Watt, Josh Allen, and is it TJ Watt, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson.
Patrick Mahomes, TJ Watt, and Derrick Henry.
Interesting. So no Aaron Rodgers.
Not a fan. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No.
Then in order.
I would say in that order. I put it in the order I wanted.
You should restate it one more time.
I think it was Mahomes, TJ, and then Derrick Henry.
Gotcha. Okay. Now that's both of you, Greg. Start first. I see Matt start first. What was your reason for putting those guys in that order? And the reason why you picked those guys? Why is Patrick Mahomes your number
Most
one?
influential. I would say that was most influential players, just on my perspective of like overall NFL from the names you gave us.
Okay. Is there anybody else that you think deserves it more than the names that I gave you? Or you think Patrick Mahomes should win MVP?
I mean, it's kind of hard to go against the grain with that because he's providing numbers and success for the team as an MVP would, and he's doing it consistently. I don't see why not.
Okay. Greg?
I picked Rodgers just because I thought he had the better season. I thought Mahomes threw a lot of balls that could have been picked off, that should have been picked off, but weren't. I think he was shaky at times.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously has more yards than Rodgers, but Rodgers has more touchdowns.
And better touchdown to interception ratio as well.
Yeah. So, and I thought that ratio should have been a lot different for Mahomes. But obviously, I'm going to go to QBs just because they're probably most in charge of the offense, of probably the hardest position to play in football. I think who'd I go third? I went Derrick Henry just because he's pretty much their whole everything revolves around him. Mm-hmm. And I think the running back's been devalued so much that it's undervalued at this point. Mm-hmm. So to have a running back that can do that, what Henry does, and be the life of your team is something special. And Diggs, obviously, we saw the Bills last year without Diggs, and we saw him this year with Diggs. So I think he made a big impact on their offense and Josh Allen.
Right. Okay. I'm still kind of flip-flopping with this. I think
no flip-flopping.
My head tells me that Aaron Rodgers deserves to be MVP.
Discount double check.
Right. I think he deserves to be MVP. Mahomes was second. Now I'm kind of flipping, and I think I may put Derrick Henry second, put Mahomes a close third.
Hmm.
And then fourth, I think I'm going to put. I think I'm going to put Diggs fourth, slightly ahead of TJ Watt. Just slightly, ever so slightly. Because he came over and made a huge difference for the Bills, although the Bills were a playoff team last year and you only barely lost out to the Patriots, which now you didn't really have anybody in your division, but you did get better by 2 games by having Diggs on your team. So now here's the interesting question for you guys. If the Packers didn't have Rodgers and Mahomes and the Chiefs didn't have Mahomes, right? Would they still be a playoff contender if they had? Let's just say, okay, let me put it to you like this. Let's say an average QB, Derek Carr, is the quarterback of the Packers, and then another average QB we can go with. We'll go with Ryan Tannehill. Let's say he was the quarterback of the Chiefs. Do those 2 teams still make the playoffs? Yes or no?
Man. I think the Chiefs do. I don't know about Green Bay. They have a solid running game, but only.
How much of their
'Cause I
offense
think-
revolves around the QBs, in your perspective? Like, that's really what it boils down to. Aaron Rodgers versus Austin Mahomes or Patrick Mahomes. Like, how much do they rely on him? If we're going for MVP, like, this is solely revolving around, hey, we need this guy. We wouldn't make it without him. That's what the
The
question
thing is
is.
with KC is they had Alex Smith, and
they still made the playoff.
yeah, and Andy Reid's a really good play caller.
Correct. And they had weapons around them, and Travis Kelce,
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, Hilaire was still doing decently. Hardman, Sammy Watkins. So they had guys around them. On Green Bay, you had what's his name?
Devontae Adams,
Yeah, Devontae
the
Adams.
running back, Adam Jones.
Yeah, Adam Jones.
Oh, Aaron Jones, my bad.
Aaron Jones, excuse me.
I was doing Adam Pac-Man
Defense is
Jones.
okay. If Carr is there, I still think that they get to at least 10 wins, and that's good enough to win you that division. And if Tannehill was in Kansas City, I think they still win about 10, maybe 11 games getting them. Now, my question to you is, you take Derrick Henry off of Tennessee, do they make the playoffs?
What running back are they plugging in?
Let's put in Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh no, not with Zeke. No, not with Tom Zeke.
Okay, let's put in Todd Gurley.
Yeah, and making the playoffs for sure.
They're
No?
not making.
I don't think
No, they're not
Gurley's
making the
got-
playoffs.
Gurley's got those DeRozans though. His carries are. I mean, his yards are going down
Okay.
from.
Like we can put in. There's only a couple of
Yeah,
running backs that I could put in there if healthy. That I could say Tennessee would still make the playoffs because these other 2 guys specifically would impact the game the way Henry does, and that's with Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey if they are healthy, right? Those are the only 2 guys that I could see helping Tennessee make the playoffs. But I do think that they get a little bit worse because compared to Derrick Henry, those guys don't make the plays like Henry does. Henry is not only running over people, stiff arming people, he's maneuvering, he's getting through, like, because I understand people, and this is where I'm going to go with this argument. There's people that are like, well, Derek, that devalue the running back because they think has a lot to do with pass blocking, with run blocking, right? With creating holes, this, that, and the other. Well, at the same point, with quarterbacks depend on what? Pass blocking and protection. That's your line. So both doesn't it down for me. I don't think Henry should be devalued just because, analysts are saying, well, it's run blocking that's, really open it up for him. No, Derrick Henry is making plays. He's extending runs. This is one of the reasons why he's the best running back in the game right now, with McCaffrey, who can also make some plays, and then Saquon, who can also make some plays. Well, I think when Saquon comes back and healthy, we still haven't seen the best of Saquon, but I think we will see that. And then Zeke early on, but he has regressed, and the same with Todd Gurley. So having said all of that, I can make an argument for Derrick Henry being MVP based solely upon that, because if you take him off of Tennessee's team, they're not going to the playoffs. They're probably a 6-win, maybe a 7-win team. You take Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes off and put an average quarterback on their team, they still probably might make the playoffs. Maybe Green Bay may not, or you might get in a little tie there with Chicago. Chicago's also going to be, that 9-win team. But Kansas City is still probably going to make the playoffs because their offense is so explosive. And this is not taking anything away from Aaron Rodgers, because he had a hell of a season. And as we know, he hasn't had a number one wide receiver to throw to, and their receiving core isn't as good as Kansas City's, which I understand, Greg, and I agree with you why I put him as well over Patrick Mahomes. But people are counting out Derrick Henry a lot. Like, I've heard a couple of analysts say he's not even in the top 5 for MVP. He's at number 3 at best. I'm like, the dude should be interchangeable with Mahomes. You could put him at number 2, if not maybe put up at, a number 1 over Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's tough because 51 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. You had a bad game where you got stomped out by Tampa Bay this season when you threw 2 of those interceptions. You know what I mean? And then for the most part, you had pretty clean games, and they were 13-3 this year.
Yeah.
So
the big argument for QB is QB touches the ball every play, right? Running backs don't.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. But the fact that Derrick Henry had, I want to say, 4 200 games this year, and he had about 7 or 8 150 plus yard games with a couple of bad ones. I know he only reached about 70 or so. Like, you got to give this man his flowers. Give him his respect. And as you said, running backs don't last a long time, Greg. Yeah. But when you see a performance like this, really carrying the team like he did, because the defense is and Tannehill is you have a good receiver in A.J. Brown. He's up and coming. Corey Davis would be here or there, whatever. I think Henry is 2. Maybe you switch him with Mahomes, but could possibly be an MVP. He could be the MVP this year.
Who's your third?
I don't think we will see. Huh?
Who's your third? Who's you got third place?
It's between him and Mahomes.
The third place? What about third place? Aaron Rodgers third?
No. I said it's between Henry and Mahomes for third place.
Oh, okay.
Because I can switch them out between 2 and 3. Aaron Rodgers should be the MVP. I can get that, but I can make an argument for having Derrick Henry as the MVP. I
think that the big thing with Henry is he wears the defenses down, right?
Back.
He puts a lot of people by the fourth quarter they're already ready to give up.
Yeah, because if you don't have a guy like that wearing defenses down, and you only have a kind of a subpar, or an average running back, on your team with Tannehill throwing the ball more, you're probably not going to win as many games. I mean, they got to the conference finals as a 6th seed last year because Henry dragged them through the playoffs, and lost to Kansas City because obviously Mahomes and that offense, when they get hot and they get going, it's hard to stop them. Like no defense is really going to stop them. So for me, nothing to devalue from Mahomes. He's going to be great for years. We know that. Aaron Rodgers, he has one MVP under his belt. We're not going to see probably too many more as great years out of Rodgers because he's getting up there. So you can give him the MVP short, but you can make the case. For me, I'm making that case that Derrick Henry should be 2 in the voting, if not 3 for the MVP voting. So that is my case.
What's Tennessee's record? Like 11.
Tennessee was 11-5 this year.
Yeah.
You take them off, I think they're like either 6-10, maybe 7-9 at best. They're not better than the Colts if you take them off.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
So they better hope he's healthy and stays healthy. AJ Brown is good. Don't get me wrong. He's up and coming. Corey Davis is a decent receiver too. But that quarterback position with Tannehill, he's just okay. He's just okay. You get a better QB. Like if you say you sent Deshaun Watson to Tennessee, oh, they are on par with the freaking Chiefs. It's between the Chiefs and the Texans to go to the Super Bowl. Like those are the 2 best teams in the NFL. You send Deshaun Watson to Tennessee.
Problem is money. You can't pay everybody.
Oh, of course. Yeah. You can't pay everybody. And obviously that's not going to happen. But if you get somebody like, Deshaun Watson, shoot, I'd even go if you get a Justin Herbert into Tennessee with the way he played as a rookie, get somebody like him into that system. Yeah, they're a really, really good team. And he has more to prove. I get it.
Yeah, I need to see more from Herbert because, you obviously, you've already said that NFL defenses catches on to you
Right.
the next couple of years. So we'll see if he can bounce back and repeat these success he's having early on.
Right. And I do want to I know I'm sidetracking a little bit. They were 7-9 this year. They let go of their head coach. Keenan Allen was good this year. Him and Herbert, developed a chemistry. They lost about 4 games just because of coaching. You know what I mean? It wasn't because they got smacked. Like they got smacked by the Patriots. I get that. But for the most part, they're going to be dangerous next year if they get the right coach in there. That's where I want to see an Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs get a head coaching position. If he gets a head coaching position with the Chargers, 12-win team possibly next year.
Yeah, we'll see.
I can see him being a 12-win team. But before we move off of NFL,
But I hope he gets a job for sure.
yeah, no, I do too. I don't want to see him go to the Jets, nor do I want to see him. I'm sure the Jacksonville's going to probably draft Trevor Lawrence, and you got Robinson, Shark, and decent receiving core with defense is not too bad, but yeah.
Shark and Shaviska Sonalt and Trevor Lawrence, and then maybe you draft another receiver. And that starts to look very, very, very appealing. And Robinson in the backfield.
Mm-hmm. So I do want to go with the NFL off-season draft rankings, I should say. So as of right now, guys, Jaguars are going to get the number 1 pick. Okay. Number 2 pick is going to go to the
Jets.
Yeah, to the Jets, and then
3 to Dolphins via Texans.
yeah, that was crazy. The fact that they're getting that is crazy.
They traded gas mask Tunzel.
Yeah, that's nuts. So they're only going to get better.
Yeah.
They're only going to get better.
Verge playoff team, get the number 1,
That's what it
number 3
was.
pick.
They might get Devontae Smith. Oh my gosh. That's tough. That's tough. They don't have a number 1. He could be their number 1.
It's going to be interesting debate between Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, and dark horse is probably Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle is another one too. Atlanta at 4, Cincinnati at 5. Now here's the team that I said I wanted to talk about with Devontae Smith that I mentioned earlier in the show. Philadelphia, you're number 6. If Miami doesn't take him, guess what? Y'all should take him. All y'all crying out there, we should have had CD Lamb. Why the Cowboys grab him? Y'all have a chance of getting a better receiver in Devontae Smith than CD Lamb. Eagles, that's your guy. I would go after him because it's not a foregone conclusion that the Dolphins will get him. Do I think they should? Yeah, I think they should get him, but it's not a foregone that they will. You know.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's 175 pounds, so
Right.
there are injury concerns with
Right.
him.
Absolutely, but to have a young, explosive offense with if they, I mean, obviously we know the Eagles are going to part ways with Carson Wentz. Like that's just done. I think we all knew that.
Ertz is gone.
You said Hurts?
Ertz.
Oh, Ertz. Oh yeah. Zach Ertz is gone. That I don't know why they didn't re-sign him. I mean, injury prone.
They don't have any money.
Yeah. I guess they're like, well, we have Goddard as the backup.
Yeah, that's why they drafted Goddard to replace him.
And that's another one. Where's Ertz gonna go? Shoot, Ertz, come to the Cowboys, man. We need
Dalton Schultz, baby, let's go.
Nah,
We already paid Blake Jarwin too, so
yeah, I could actually see Ertz going to like Washington.
everybody wants to send him to the Patriots because the Gronk legacy.
Nah, I can see him going to Washington or even New York when Saquon comes back, because obviously they know Ingram drops a lot of passes. They're gonna try to move him.
Yeah, they need O-line help and they need more weapons.
All right. So now I want to float this question to you, C-Mac. Coaching wise, the Jets, Jaguars, they're going to be open for coaching. They have open coaching or coaching vacancies, I would say. Jaguars, if they get the enemy, I'm not mad at that. For the Jets, I'm going to throw this name out to you. Urban Meyer, yes or no? What do you think of that to coach the Jets?
That'd be interesting. Shift from college football to NFL. It could work. Never know. There's no guarantees. Especially with that, it would just take the team to like wrap around it and all buy in to what he's selling. I think that's the biggest thing. We've seen the worst of the Jets, so I mean, it could be a positive shift. I think it might be, honestly.
Right. Greg?
I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, see if he could translate to NFL. Obviously, there's reports out that he wants $12 million a year. That's a little rough. Yeah. So,
I mean, he's won
everywhere he's been.
In college, he's 187-32, won 3 national championships. When he was at Ohio State, he won 90% of his games. I think he was like 29-2 or 3 or something like that. At Florida, he won about 80% of his games, which is.
He can coach anybody. He coached Tim Tebow and he coached Aaron Hernandez.
Right, but I mean, still winning is still still ridiculous.
A little while, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's still a ridiculous win percentage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and obviously he turned average, below average QBs to great QBs, looking great QBs. So that's a big up thing for him too.
Yeah, and he's able to get the best out of these guys. So I'm thinking for the Jets, might not be a bad idea to go draft him. I mean, to go draft him, to go sign him. Sign him as your head coach. You got rid of High Gase. You know what I mean? Like, get yourself going into a positive direction. Although we do know when Urban Meyer has left the previous 2 programs, kind of left them a little scandal. But
all of a sudden he gets like an illness and he's like, oh, I can't coach ever again. I'm out. And then all of a sudden he comes back.
Yeah, but now you don't have to you're not dealing with kids, you're not dealing with parents, you're dealing with grown men. So now you
that's the diff. That's why college coaches have trouble translating to NFL, is because you have more control over in college of kids. You have more leverage, that you have their scholarships in their hand. You can recruit the best players. In the NFL, there's a salary cap. You can only get so many good players.
Right.
people are not. They're a grown man. They're not trying to hear this rah rah speeching.
Right.
So it's difficult. It's a different animal.
Right. I mean, one of the most successful NFL college coaches to NFL would be Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen what he's done with Seattle. You know, they turned into a powerhouse. But I'm not saying that's going to happen with the Jets. But
He failed his first coaching experience.
Pete, yeah, I believe I forgot who he coached.
Patriots.
He did with the Patriots first, but he came in and he did well. And this would be Urban's first time coaching in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'd say give him if I am the Jets, I'd say give it a shot.
Swing for the fences.
Give it a shot. I mean, Cowboys had an opportunity to get Urban Meyer. They didn't do it. They went with Mike McCarthy. We'll see how that pans out. I think he's Jason Garrett 2.0. By the way, for everybody not keeping record, Jason Garrett kept the Cowboys.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Jason Garrett kept the Cowboys out of the playoffs again. He's not even on the team anymore, man. Like he just he keeps cursing. He got the Cowboys got the Jason Garrett curse.
He scored 3 points in the second half.
Hey, they still won.
Because we lost. They didn't win. We lost.
Yeah.
Just remember that.
Fair.
See you again, G-Man, next year when we're healthy. We got Dak. Full line. It's over for y'all.
Hopefully.
Bars.
There's always something with the Cowboys. Always something.
Marshall, leave the past in the past, man.
I can't.
I know you have PTSD from all the hardships that the Cowboys have done to you.
Yeah,
I have to sit down with somebody, a sports psychologist or something.
I can't. So Jerry Jones
Just remove it from the spirit.
Jerry Jones has to leave, or there's got to be a different coach because McCarthy ain't it. I'm sorry, this is not gonna happen.
And you're already writing off the whole coaching regime after one season.
It's not happening. It's not. And he's not going to get rid of. They're not going to get rid of Mike Knowles, so the defense is still going to stink. They're not going to draft a cornerback or to help that secondary. So I already know that's still going to be a problem. We're going to be able to put up points, but then defense is going to get scorched. So it's going to be pretty similar to what this season is.
I'm not saying we're Super Bowl contenders next year, but we're definitely going to be in the playoffs.
Anyway, shout out to Ron Rivera. I mean, they're in the playoffs. He deserves the opportunity to be coach of the year because nobody thought Washington was going to do anything. They don't even have a name. A team that doesn't even have a name is in the football. It's in the
Some say that's the reason why they're in the football playoffs.
Yeah.
Karma from changing their name.
They still went 7-9, but I guess. But
He beat cancer.
yeah, no, that he deserves to be coach of the year candidate. Seriously, like all jokes aside, he deserves to be coach of the year.
Yeah.
So, but last thing on the list, guys, let's talk a little NBA. Brooklyn is they put a smacking on the Jazz tonight, so they went back to 500. But they have some problems. KD is out with COVID safety protocols. Came into contact with somebody. I mean, they have been less impressive than what we had all thought. They started off hot, and then they just started trailing off. Like, it's funny. Ever since the first couple of games, they went like this. The Warriors went like that. The Warriors have been balling off, man. They've been balling. Like, they found their chemistry. Ever since Draymond Green came back, they've been balling.
Yeah.
Remember, we were kind of talking about it. I said, Draymond comes back. I like what the Warriors are doing with James Wiseman. They're starting to get a chance to, learn he can handle the ball going coast to coast. They can throw him up alleys. He can dunk it. This is what I was worried about. If they get that together with Clay coming back next year, they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough. But anyway, Brooklyn having a hard time right now. They don't really have a bench. And for whatever reason, they weren't starting Jared Allen. And he's averaging he's getting boards.
Yeah.
That dude is balling, man.
I think it's just chemistry, and LeVert needs to get going.
Right, and losing Dinwiddie hurt too. They need to pick up Jamal Crawford and pick up Michael Beasley because you had both of them, and then one got hurt and the other one had COVID concern. So I don't know.
Don't know if that's the answer, but why not?
Yep. Before I get to the really controversial one, let's the Cavs, they're playing pretty well.
Sexland.
This is the worst combination name.
Everybody wants to go to Sexland, man. Just accept it.
Oh gosh. They're playing well. Philly's got the best record in the NBA. It's 6-1. He's playing like a monster. They have some good pieces around them.
Howard, we're concerned about is Danny Green, right?
Yeah, that's the guy I'm still concerned.
That's the one piece you're a little worried about.
Seth Curry was a nice addition. He's balling.
Underrated, very underrated.
Yeah, very underrated. Washington's started to kind of put it together a little bit. I mean, they're still bad, but since Rui's been back, they won 2 in a row.
One without Westbrook.
Yeah. Atlanta's still doing, maybe you're right. Atlanta's still doing pretty good. Phoenix is doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they lost to the Clippers the other night, but they're still doing very well. We know about
Talk about Julius Randle and the MVP Knicks.
I'm getting there. The Nuggets,
MVP.
doing bad. We know what the Spurs are. Houston and Dallas is having a tough time. Now I can get into the Knicks, man.
Shout out to the Spurs winning right now, 46-13. I mean, it's 46-30.
Yeah, they're beating the Clippers. It'd be great if they could take this.
Let's
one.
take it, baby. Steal the win.
Mm-hmm.
Need some good karma.
For real.
Shock the world.
Back, baby. Super Bowl.
Spurs versus everybody. Weren't they beating them by this bad sometime last year too? I don't know. Patty Mills got 13 leading them.
Let's go, baby.
He's doing pretty good. Aldridge back with 6 points. See, it's that Aldridge effect, man.
Mhm.
It's that Aldridge effect.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that, but I'll take it.
Jeez, even Vassell got in with 1-1. All right, next time. The Knicks are playing inspired basketball. They're playing pretty well. RJ Barrett is playing better. Adding Austin Rivers for shooting is doing good. They don't have Obi Toppin. They're high draft pick. But controversial time, guys. Julius Randle.
AKA Julius LeBron James.
Or Julius Blake Griffin Randle. Either one you want to talk about.
Yeah.
He is hooping right now.
Or Julius Westbrook.
Yo, he is hooping right now. Like, he's an all-star this year.
He's MVP right now. If he gets the Knicks to the playoffs, he's MVP. If somebody gets the Knicks to the playoffs, they're MVP. Top 5 seed, they're MVP.
I'm not gonna say they're gonna be a top 5 seed, but if he gets them even in the 7th, 8th seed, yeah.
MVP. New York will build a statue for him. Everything will be great.
Yeah.
Jay-Z will come out with another album.
Life
will be great.
He's with the Nets, so he's not with New York.
Spike Lee might make a movie about him.
Yes.
Yeah, especially if they beat the Nets coming up.
Oh yeah.
Battle of proof.
Yeah, and if he balls, man. This is the thing that I was trying to tell y'all, and y'all were like,
Don't do it, Marshall.
Look who he plays for. If the Spurs had Julius Randle, they would be a much better team if they had Aldridge. They would be. They'd be a better team than if they had Aldridge.
How much?
This
better?
version of
How
this
much
version,
better?
7
They
games
were
in, Julius Randle, yes.
Yeah, well, this is what I knew he could do.
This is not what he's been over his whole career.
He's been injured.
No,
when he was in New Orleans, he was balling. But he was playing behind Anthony Davis.
This is the greatest stat line he's ever had in his life.
But he still
Ever.
put up 16 and 12. He's getting bored.
With 3 assists his whole career. Now he's averaging the same amount as LeBron, 7.4 a game.
That's fine. The assists don't matter because the Spurs can pass the ball.
Assists do matter.
I know, but I'm saying for the Spurs, we got guys who can get assists. You know what I'm saying? That's all I mean. I don't necessarily need him to do that. If he gets the assist, sure. If we're making the shot, sure. My point is rebounding. This guy could get us boards. Should have traded for him.
No,
Should
I'm
have
good.
traded for him. He's younger. He can get us boards. I know he's not the tallest guy in the world, but damn, he could do better than what Aldridge is doing. Because Aldridge, we don't know.
If
He
anybody's
might
better
be-
than Aldridge, I can go out there and be better than
That's
Aldridge.
all I'm saying. Trading, having him right now over Aldridge, I would have made that trade. That's probably not gonna happen now because they'd be like, well, shoot, we're winning. If he
But
was
I'm-
balling and they were losing, I'd be like, send Aldridge to the.
I think the
Knicks.
trade
I'm
the
just
trade can
thinking
happen
within 7
now
games.
because that trade wouldn't have happened before because there's no call for it. Like New York wasn't asking for anything that low for Julius Randle. Now they have
It would've
now
been
Randall's
DeMar.
got
It'd
like
probably been for
leverage.
But
DeMar.
why would you want Aldridge for Julius Randle now? Is what I'm saying. You don't want him.
no, they're not gonna.
I'm
They don't want
saying-
Aldridge.
No, but I'm saying before I was saying who else could you make the trade for? And I'm like, you could have made the trade for Julius Randle.
No,
Aldridge
That's a
for Julius
idiotic
Wouldn't have fit their team.
now.
that's an idiotic trade back then. That's crazy. Oh,
The Knicks may have wanted him because they were like, we didn't know how we were going. They did not know they were about to be 4-3 right now playing inspired basketball with Tom Thibodeau. They
Yeah,
didn't know
but-
this was going to happen.
They don't.
They were
Nobody wants
banking on
Marcus
Obi
Aldridge,
Toppin.
First of all,
to
let's put
be
that
the
out there.
guy.
Nobody wants him.
Who, Aldridge?
Yes, he's unplayable at this point.
I feel you, but maybe the Knicks would have been like, all right, we'll take this. His last year, we're probably not going to make the playoffs. Like they didn't expect to be doing this well right now. We expected the Knicks to just have another shellac crap, season. But the way Julius Randle's playing right now, no, they're not going to trade him. He's their heart and soul of their team right now.
they'll
Him,
trade him.
Barrett's coming up, Rivers. If they
Quickly,
can get
Quickly
top
was
and
a great
come
pick.
back, say it again.
Quickly,
Oh yeah,
Emmanuel
quickly, yeah,
Great
yeah.
pick.
He's playing really well.
great
You know what I
pick.
mean? So
Him and
Yeah.
Maxi for Philly, both Kentucky players.
yep, he's playing well as well. So shoots at this point, the Knicks are like, yo, we can start something here. We can start doing something here, man. We can make the playoffs. If they keep playing inspired basketball. Thibodeau has them playing hard.
Yeah.
And young core, Randall is 26 years old. Yeah. And they might only be able to get back. Maybe now they might actually be able to get a free agent to come and play with them in New York next summer. You never know. Maybe Harden's like, all right, I'll take my talents to New York and let's see what we can do. Can you imagine that?
Harden wouldn't fit Thibodeau. Harden would not fit Thibodeau. That's a
I
bad.
mean,
It's a
Who's
bad
a two
fit.
guard? Who's a- I don't
Anybody.
even know.
Barrett.
Barrett. I thought Barrett plays the 3.
No, he plays it too. They have him and
Brittany
Alec
Bullock for
Burks.
3.
Oh yeah, Alec Burks. Yeah, okay, Alec Burks.
He's been getting buckets.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's averaging 20, but okay.
that's the best that he's averaged. I'm saying he's stepping it up, but I don't expect that to last for the
All
whole
my New
season.
York fans are begging for a point guard. They're just like, please, can we just get a point guard?
And if they get Harden, that's
I mean,
one of the closest he's gonna
Alfred
get.
Payton's pretty good. He's a really good
I mean, they're,
traditional
yeah, he's
point
all
guard.
right.
He's a
They
traditional
have their
point
love and hate with him.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
He has
right.
their love and hate with him,
If he develops his jump shot a little bit more, he'll actually be,
which he has in his whole career.
Don't rely on that. Just ask him to get assists, and that's all you need. And layups, maybe.
But look, man, the Knicks are looking nice. I mean, they're one team. Them, Cleveland, and Orlando were 3 teams I did not expect to be over 500 right now.
I need to see Julius for at least a season. Can I just see Julius
Sure.
for the whole season? Maybe
That's
2.
fair. That's fair. But I know he can ball. When he was in LA, he wasn't putting up these numbers. I get it. But he was still hooping. You feel me? When he was with the Pelicans, he had some 30-point games. He had some, 20 and 15 games. Like the dude is a pretty solid player. Now
I
he's
mean,
not
he's always put up stats. I'm just saying that his level of play is his willingness to be defensively has changed dramatically from last season. His sharing the ball, obviously, I told you his
right.
career average is 3 assists. Now he's averaging close to almost 8 assists.
Right.
I mean, these are dramatic differences, and
Oh,
he's
without a
making
doubt.
quick decisions,
Without a doubt. I think now he's under a coach that,
and he's shooting 40% from 3.
yeah, I know. He's under a coach that's inspired. I mean, Thibodeau's an inspiring coach. He came out
Now
there.
I'm concerned though that him and Barrett are playing like 38 minutes, 40 minutes a game,
Yeah, they are playing a lot of minutes.
and we know with Tibbs, history of running
Yeah.
players into the ground.
That is true. That's the only concern, and
And that's a little worrisome.
That's a very, very good point that you brought up. Is as that. So we'll see. And especially we don't even have Toppin right now, and Toppin was their their guy, their draft pick. I think he's still injured.
Well, they play the same position, so
Right. I
but
mean,
you would give Julius a little bit of rest.
right. So, but I mean, if he can start, if Julius is handling most of the workload, and if he's tired, they can put in Toppin, and then he's at least able to give you some type of offense to keep you in the game. Yeah, the Knicks will be good. The Knicks will be good. They'll be good.
Yeah,
And that's the
shout out
thing.
to all my Knicks fans, man. It's been a long, hard road. I know people are rejoicing over this
Stephen A. is
start.
giddy.
Yeah. People are just popping bottles. They're jumping out windows. I mean, it's wild. It is
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. This could be Cleveland making the playoffs, the Knicks possibly making the playoffs. 2021 is
Different.
maybe that
Isn't it
year.
somewhere up there?
For real. So, but yeah, man. Last thing. Ryan Garcia got knocked down. It is boxing, by the way. I had to switch gears. Ryan Garcia got knocked down and ended up. Well, he got knocked down with the second. Ended up being able to come back and win in the seventh. I forgot his name. British boxer. Smith? Was it Smith?
Luke Campbell.
Say it again.
Uncle Luke.
Luke Campbell.
The Campbell. I'm sorry. Oh, Smith. Still British boxer. Smith was Callum Smith that lost to Canelo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, Campbell.
Uncle Luke.
Campbell
Stop.
couldn't do anything to after he knocked Garcia down. Garcia got right back up and then was just working him after that, and then hit him with that gut punch, and he was pretty much done. Now he's called out Gervonta Tank Davis for his next fight, and Gervonta says, "Yo, I'm not running for nothing." He's like, "Yo, let's get this, we'll make this happen." He said, "Fights already." He said, "Papers," or what did he say? He said, "The agreement's already done," or something like that. So that would be a good fight to see. Maybe summertime, if not fall time. I would have Gervonta winning.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't call him Tank for nothing.
What is your take on Ryan Garcia? Because I heard a lot of negative takes around him. That he's more of a social media influencer than a really good boxer.
Yeah, I'd say he's more social media than I would agree. His boxing is okay. I mean, he's still a little sloppy with his technique. I mean, especially to get caught, although he did pop back up. And I mean, he was just, you could tell he was a superior fighter to Campbell, but Gervonta's not getting knocked down at all against Campbell. You feel me? Like Gervonta's going to dominate that whole fight. So having said that, Gervonta is a better boxer overall, cleaner technique, and he's going to give Garcia a wake-up call.
I'm glad they're fighting, man. That's kind of what we want out of boxing, right?
Yeah, we want to see these
That's
matchups happen. We don't want to see Floyd wait for a long time. We don't want to see, although we did see the Triple G Canelo fight happen twice, and they may do a third one, so I appreciate that. We want to see, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. We want to see that happen. You know what I mean? We don't want to wait for these fights way after the prime, So if they get these big fights going and, start getting more traction, I think boxing has a chance of coming back. I understand, the YouTube fighters bringing it back for social media, this, that, and the other, but is it really going to be good boxing? Like, that's my only concern.
C-Mac, tell us.
The problem is with boxing is that everybody's like, kind of what you just said, Marshall's like, is it going to be good boxing? It's either about the fighters or is it just about whether they fight well? You can't have both, So you want people to like boxing and watch it, you're gonna have to take it with a grain of salt that these YouTube stars want to fight each other in a boxing match rather than MMA.
C-Mac, you want to call someone out right now?
Well, huh?
You want to call someone out right now?
Nah. I'll take
Man, we can
KSI. That's all I'm saying.
dude.
Just kidding.
We can take the UVs all the moves we can get, baby.
Greg versus C-Mac, May 5th.
Let's go. Soccer 1-on-1.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll definitely do that.
We gotta do a sport where neither one of y'all are really dominant in. 'Cause, I mean, C-Mac's a dominant soccer player. Greg's more of a dominant baseball player. C-Mac's probably a little bit better at basketball. Greg's probably better at football.
Disrespectful, but all right, we'll take it.
I don't know. Can either one of y'all bowl?
I'm an athlete, man. I can do anything.
Okay, we'll find something. C-Mac versus Greg is coming up, man. I'm gonna enjoy. I'm gonna enjoy
Do
watching.
cards, speed.
Speed? Ooh, I'm down.
Ooh,
Okay, speed challenge, May 5th. I can join that one too. We got the quick hands. Anyway, that is gonna be the show.
You didn't even see that magic, man, baby.
So fast that you just
There. I'm gone.
That has been the show, y'all. We appreciate everybody for watching as always. You know, you can catch us on that YouTube, that Anchor, Spotify. All the others are coming back. Obviously, if you ain't got no VS, you listening to that. BS.
FM.
You already know. And for sure, you can catch us on SVF Sports Talk on Twitter, Instagram, and then also go show some love to Spurs versus everybody. Renaming that, we should rename that SVE. We got SVE and SVF, baby. Spurs versus everybody on Spotify. Well, actually, you are on Spotify and Anchor, and Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you can find podcasts, and Instagram,
Everywhere.
Instagram and Twitter. Spurs versus everybody, guys. Another great show. I appreciate y'all. We will be back on the next show. We'll break down. We'll give you our picks for the NFL playoffs, who we think our Super Bowl champion is going to be, and some other good stuff coming up. So y'all stay tuned in for C-Mac and G-Reg. It's been your boy Mash, and we will catch y'all next time on that.
Stats versus facts. Stats versus facts. You know where we at on the stats versus facts. Yeah, my boy hella black on the stats versus facts. And you might get smacked by the stats versus facts.
Catch y'all next time. Peace.